What if I told you there's this kind of secret power structure in a lot of workplaces? And get this, it's not for the bosses, it's actually for you. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this system, a tool that's designed to give you a real, actual voice where you work. I mean, haven't we all been there? You show up to work one day, and suddenly some big decision has been made, the rules have changed out of nowhere, and you just feel, well, you feel like a passenger in your own career, right? But what if I told you there's a whole legal setup designed to put you, yeah, you, in the driver's seat? Well, there is. It's called the Labor Management Council. And listen, this is not some dusty old suggestion box that nobody ever checks. No way. Think of it more like your own personal workplace parliament. Seriously, it's a formal, structured meeting where the people you elect sit down as equals with management to hash out the stuff that really matters. All right, so how does this whole parliament thing actually work? We're going to walk through the entire story today. We'll cover why it's a thing in the first place, how you pick your champions, what they can do, what's on the table for discussion, how decisions get made, and the big one, what all of this means for you. Okay, let's dive in. Section 1, a better way to talk. So why even have these councils? I mean, who needs one? The whole point is to build a bridge, right? To get everyone talking and working together. But does every single company have to have one? So here's the deal. The law is pretty smart about this. If you're working at a super small place, like a cafe with just a couple of people, it's informal. The law basically says, hey, you can probably just talk to the boss directly. But, and this is a big but, the second a company hits 30 employees, everything changes. It's not a suggestion anymore. It's the law. A formal council is required. All right, on to Section 2, choosing your champions. Okay, so your company needs this parliament. How do you actually form it? Well, this is where it gets really cool because it's all about democracy. Nobody gets appointed. You actually get to elect the people who are going to be your voice. And this is the absolute key to making the whole thing work. Balance. The law is super strict about this. Labor and management have to have the exact same number of representatives. It could be 2 and 2 or 15 and 15, doesn't matter. What matters is that one side can't just bully the other. It's all designed for a fair discussion, right from the get-go. So how do you actually pick your reps? The process is really straightforward. It all depends on one question. Does your company have a union? If the answer is yes, then the union handles the election. Simple enough. If the answer is no, then it's a full-on direct election. Every single employee gets a vote. That's it. Pure democracy. Okay, and this is a really smart part of the law. It's not just about fairness between employees and the bosses. It's also about fairness among the employees. To make sure one group doesn't just take over, there's this really clever gender balance rule. So let's say one gender makes up more than half of all the employees. Well, they're guaranteed to get at least 1/3 of the labor seats. It's this built-in check to make sure different voices get heard. So who can actually be a rep? Well, pretty much any employee who's 15 or older is good to go. The only people who can't are the really high-level managers, the ones who basically act for the boss. And that makes total sense, right? You can't really play for both teams at the same time. Okay, moving on to Section 3, a rep's rights and rules. So your champions are elected, now what? What can they actually do? And maybe more importantly, what keeps them safe while they're fighting for you? This, my friends, is where the law gives this whole parliament some serious teeth. First thing to know, it's a 4-year term. And that's not just a random number. 4 years gives them enough time to actually learn the job, get some experience, and tackle those bigger long-term issues. And yeah, of course, they can be reelected. So if you've got a great rep, you can keep them in the game. Now, being a rep comes with some serious perks. Or maybe we should call them superpowers. They get paid time off to go to the meetings. They get access to company info they need. Everyone has to cooperate in good faith. But the biggest, most important power of all, it's their anti-retaliation protection. It's like a legal force field. And I really want you to hear this. This is the whole ball game. Your employer cannot, I'm going to say it again, cannot fire them, demote them, cut their pay, or punish them in any way for doing their job as a representative. This protection is what lets them speak up for you for real without being afraid of losing their job. So we have these protected champions. What's on the agenda? Are they just debating what kind of coffee to get for the break room? No, not even close. The stuff they talk about is broad and it's seriously important. I mean, look at this. They're talking about the company's production plans and business updates. They're talking about your welfare and benefits. They can bring up ideas to make work better and more efficient. And this one's huge. They can discuss and even change the work rules. That's right, the actual rule book for your job. It's on the table for discussion. All right, section 5, how do they actually make decisions? They've got the power, they've got the topics, but how does a conversation in a room turn into a real decision that sticks? Well, the law is very specific about the rules of the meeting. This whole thing isn't just a casual chat. It's a really structured process. For starters, they have to meet at least once every 3 months. And to make sure nobody gets blindsided, the notice goes out 7 days before, and any big proposals have to be shared 3 days before. Then, after the meeting, it all gets written down in the official minutes. And here's the best part. Those decisions are then sent to the right departments to actually be put into action. Okay, so how does a vote actually pass? It's a 2-step process. First, you need enough people in the room. That means more than half the reps from the labor side and the management side have to be there. Then, to pass a resolution, you need a big agreement. It takes 3/4 of the people attending to vote yes. That's a really high bar, and it's on purpose. It forces both sides to stop arguing and start building a real consensus. And I'm sure you're wondering, who pays for all this? The elections, the meetings, all of it. The answer is simple. The company does. The law says the business has to cover all the costs. It's considered a basic part of running the business, which means money can never be an excuse for not having a council. Okay, last section. Section 6, your voice, your workplace. We've gone through all the rules, the reps, the meetings, the whole shebang. But let's bring it all back to what really matters. Why should you care about any of this? Here are the absolute key things to take away from all this. First, if your workplace has 30 or more employees, it must have one of these councils. It's not optional. Second, you have the right to vote for who represents you. Third, those reps are legally protected to fight for you. And finally, this council makes real decisions about things that affect you every day, your welfare, your work rules, and so much more. So it all comes down to this one question. Your workplace has a parliament. It's there, waiting for you. The only question is, are you voting? Are you participating? I encourage you, find out who your reps are. Ask them what's going on. And you better believe that when the next election happens, your vote counts. It's your voice. It's your workplace.